I thought it is. The description below is all the other ones.
In S, did you have a problem? Did you still have a problem after you left S? Was S a problem to you?
These are questions that are asked by Scientology of someone that has done the form or the advanced course by Landmark Worldwide. It's a nothing to do with Scientology. It's a 2 5-day courses, $915 each before discount. I don't work for them or represent them in any way.
In S, did you have a withhold? Were you run on an S process over a problem? Were you run on an S process over a withhold? Were you run on an S process over protest? Were you made to do something in S you didn't want to do? Were you run on an S process over a misunderstood? In other words, was there something you didn't understand about what was happening? Is there anything about your involvement with S that I shouldn't find out about? Right? In S, did you commit an overt? So they're still looking for overt type stuff too, right? Have you used S for some unworthy motive? In S, did you do anything that harmed or upset another? In S, were you forced to withhold something? Did you go back to S after you received Dynetics or Scientology training or processing? In S, were you involved in any unethical sexual activity? Were you forced to enroll in S training? Were you?
I did do other courses after I went to Scientology. Yes, I did. What, like, how long was I in Scientology for the first visit? Like 2 hours, an hour? I don't remember. But I didn't find it interesting enough.
Were you forced to bring guests to S? In S, was there any invalidation? In S, were you called obscene names? Regarding your involvement in S, has there been any invalidation? In S, did anyone invalidate your beingness? In S, were you ridiculed in front of the group? In S, were you belittled? In S, were you told your life was meaningless? Right, so just
yeah, no, none of that would ever happen as far as the belittling or the demeaning. People are left not demeaned; they're left with their results enhanced. And yes, they do talk about how life is empty and meaningless, and it's empty and meaningless, that it's empty and meaningless, and it's not like a bad thing or a wrong thing or a nihilistic thing or any of that stuff, or really an existential thing. I can understand how existentialism plays a role in that, and Warner definitely studied existentialism, and so did the people that he developed the form with. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just distinct and different, and yeah, again, it just works.
just endless numbers of questions,
Don't believe me, don't believe anything negative, read online, just see for yourself.
based obviously around the S experience to try to get the person to relieve themselves of any upset, concerns, trauma, whatever connected with S. And lest we all think that this is a very nice thing to do, let's remember this is Scientology doing it. So, this is jumping out of the frying pan into the fire, getting this stuff. So yes. They'll give you a chance to download about your S experience, so long as you now conform with Scientology's expectations of how things are going to be. So I thought you might find that relatively interesting.
And then if they jump through those hoops,
There's no conforming in Landmark.
so let them go. Do you know
There's nothing that people are trying to get you to believe.
idea of the number of people who did transition from S to Scientology? Did any number?
Yeah, in the whole time I was involved, I ran across 3 or 4 people who had been involved.
3 or 4 sounds like you worked there for 25 years and 3 or 4 people.
S or later form. I remember my parents kind of laughing about it in the 70s when S was kind of a bigger thing as S. It was ridiculed in a movie. My parents laughed about that. Some guy couldn't leave to go to the bathroom and got stuck in there, and haha. This was very funny. So yeah, that's been I've had very, very light experience with the whole thing. One of the Scientologists who first employed me in Minnesota after I left the Sea Org had done the forum, and because she had heard about it through Lululemon, I think, and had gone.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
Lululemon no longer, I guess, forces or has their people do the form if they want to work there. I think it's a lot more of a choice thing and listening to people thing, and I don't know. But yeah, Lululemon doesn't do it anymore. Neither does Panda Express. I think Panda Express just does it with their executives. So that's the point, is that people are listening. Lululemon listened and shifted the way that they do things.
And she had to do some comeuppance in Scientology because then she got involved in Scientology, and she had to do that stuff to get fixed before she could do her Scientology stuff. So,
And did you stick with Scientology?
she did. Yeah, she ended up firing me and kicking me out because I was a bad element.
Whoa.
Because I started bucking the system in Scientology, right? And she couldn't do that out of one of her employees, right? I mean, she gave me some other reason, but I'm convinced the church told her to fire me. So, good times.
It's crazy. It's just
Isn't it?
this human experience is just crazy.
It
But
is.
at the same time, it's still wonderful. I mean, there's so much more to learn. And I think, well, I know from my experience of them,
Yeah, see, Dale is super, I mean, I don't know what you would call her, bubbly, fun. And she called herself energy. Yeah, I really see that. She bringing the energy, and she's ultimately extremely positive about her work that she's done, at least the form in the advanced course, let alone all these other things she's done. I mean, if it wasn't really benefiting her, she wouldn't have continued to do it. Course after course, Scientology seems to be like a weekly thing that people go to, versus this is like, okay, this is the commitment for this course. Do you want to do it? Yes. Okay. And then once you're done with that, you can never do anything again, or you can look at some of the other things they offer.
and I think they know how important culture and the growth of communities and organizations and groups is getting really strong now. And people are
I would argue a lot of that has to do with the forum. A lot of people have done it. What, 4 million people worldwide, I think now.
One thing, so if this conversation can provide some warning signs or things to ask for.
And interesting that you're the one that reached out to him and you're talking about how important connection is for you. And that just seems like something that you want out of life. You want to be connected to people, and that's great.
And also, really, I think the power is in the individual.
And it seems like Perth is, they were talking about how Perth, Australia is a little bit, I don't know if they use the word sticks or boonies, but it's not as big of a city as Melbourne or Sydney or whatever.
When we learn to be self-aware and start thinking critically, asking the right questions, and not needing these organizations to exist, then we'll be in a better place.
Yeah, nobody needs needing these organizations to exist. Yeah, I mean, if everybody had this information in like some sort of public schooling thing or something like that, it'd be a little bit of a different scenario. But right now you got a lot of people that don't have peace of mind and freedom that they want, and it's like, what is there? Like, they're a company that's bringing those things to people. So
I cannot agree more. And we just need organizations. We need people to stop trying to take advantage of people.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Landmark is absolutely not taking advantage of anyone. In fact, they're empowering people to never be taken advantage of.
The corruption.
Much to ask for,
There's still corruption at Landmark. What are you talking? You're comparing it to like someone that does have corruption.
Let's say there's somebody watching this thing and they've done the 3-hour tour. I mean, we have done it extensively here, and it's awesome. I'm totally happy with what we've done here. I wanted to do a long form interview and we did one, but now how can people reach you if they want to talk to you about this?
Twitter is my evil. I'm mad in Melbourne, and that's where I'm contactable. I just for convenience, it's like the easiest way to connect with people, DMs and sending messages. So do it that way. And otherwise, I don't really want to get up an email address. It just gets too overwhelming. So if you don't have a Twitter, don't have a Twitter account, sorry, you can never get one.
All right, fair enough. Well, if people are motivated to try to reach out to you, then I'm sure they can sign up for Twitter and hook up with you, and then respondents can incur from there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, Dale, thank you again for everything you've done here today and for taking the time to speak up. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Can I just see what your t-shirt says?
Oh,
it's stupidity at me. Together we can find a killer. I just think this little bit of stupidity is kind of, I'm like, what's this? I love your t-shirts. They're awesome.
Thank you.
They're really cool. Yeah, ways to communicate. Okay, Chris, thank you. Thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome. And folks out there, any questions, comments, or feedback, good, better, sideways, leave it in the comment section here at YouTube or at sensiblyseeking.com. I would very much like to hear from you guys. And if you're going to be critical of what we're talking about here, please at least be respectful enough that we'll want to listen to what you have to say by not being insulting. I don't think that's too much to ask, and I understand that social media is the that, but we're the ones who create that. So let's reply back. And on that note, I will say goodbye, everybody. See you next week. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
Peace, love.